This is the Red Sox POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Boston Red Sox, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, again, Garrett Crochet, you pay your ace to be an ace, and he has done that so far through his first 4 starts as a member of the Red Sox organization. Crochet flirting with a no-hit bid, took it into the 8th inning, and Trevor Story also a big part of the Red Sox story on Sunday. I'm Steve Lennox, longtime baseball play-by-play announcer and show host, calling over 1,000 games in the minors, spending one glorious Saturday in the show, calling Padres-Dodgers from Dodger Stadium on ESPN's national radio broadcast. Ellis Burks, to this day, still one of my all-time favorite Red Sox players. Providing reaction to every Red Sox game on the Locked On Red Sox YouTube channel, as well as a Locked On Red Sox podcast feed. You know the Red Sox podcast is free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on the podcast, along with Gabby as well, as she's got you covered Monday through Friday with Red Sox content. On our latest Red Sox postcast with Locked On, we're going to discuss Garrett Crochet, not from beginning to end, but really throughout. And if Garrett Whitlock had lost that lead in the 8th inning, I wasn't only going to blame Garrett Whitlock. I was going to also blame the offense as well. I'll discuss that and give you the details. If you're with us on the Locked On Red Sox YouTube channel, hit that comment button. First-timer or everydayer? Well, if you're an everydayer, we thank you. If you're a first-timer, welcome aboard. Hit the comment button. Join the Red Sox conversation. We always like to let you know that we're on the X as well. That's where we're really funny, at Lennox on Baseball. Latest Locked On Red Sox postcast brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off on your first year. And again, we do thank you for making the Locked On Red Sox postcast your first listen every day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So the Red Sox dropping the first 2 games of the series. Now, true confession right off the top. Yeah, it was game 82 in the regular season finale for the Celtics. They got underway from TD Garden in Boston around 1 o'clock Eastern time on Sunday. I was paying more attention to that. I was paying attention with the box score with Garrett Crochet. I had seen that he worked a 1-2-3 first inning. I saw that he worked a 1-2-3 second. I put the game on for the bottom of the third on Nesson with Lou Merloni and Dave O'Brien, and I watched him retire the 3 batters in the third inning. 9 up, 9 down. Dave O'Brien, maybe we'll have a conversation one day, friend, about not saying that he had a no-hit bid in the 7th inning and in the 8th inning as he took them out. But they did show the line score on the scoreboard at the ballpark in Chicago. I believe it's right field now. And he said, that's your story, or something along those lines. Crochet retired 15 in a row to start. He retired 15 straight batters, a leadoff walk in the 6th inning.
This is what you'll be talking about.
We'll be talking about the 8th inning. Crochet gives up a base hit, his first of the game. Retired the first batter, Taylor, on the first pitch on a pop-up to Casas in foul territory. And then Chase Meidroth. I told you Saturday, if Brooks Baldwin didn't win it with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning against Aroldis Chapman, it was going to be the former Red Sox prospect, Chase Meidroth. Well, Meidroth, good series. Good first series in the big leagues. Welcome to it. Congratulations. We wish you all the best. But Meidroth breaks up the no-hit bid against Crochet in the 8th inning. He was part of the package, we all know, that went back to Chicago from Boston for Garrett Crochet. And the others are coming. And they're coming soon to Chicago as well. They're now White Sox prospects. Meidroth, the base hit, that was it. That was it. Alex Cora out of the dugout. Good day. Garrett Crochet got a nice round of applause. But then Garrett Whitlock comes in. Baldwin a single. Theis a single. Meidroth scored 2-1 ball game. Now, shame on Rafaela from center field throwing to third. That put runners. And it was a situation there where it's like, you probably would have gotten a stolen base in there anyway. But Whitlock, in that inning, comes back and does the job. Wiggled out of trouble. The run charge to Garrett Crochet. Whitlock, oh, man. I was ready to start fuming right there if he had given up the lead, but he didn't.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Whitlock in that 8th inning, 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, strikes out Palacios, gets Vargas on a flyout, inning over. And credit to Garrett Whitlock. He's pitched well. And we get to your comments in just a moment on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Whitlock has done a solid job in relief. He's the guy, he gets the ball, they expect him to go 2 innings. Well, gave the ball over to Chapman for the 9th inning. Chapman gave up a base hit. White Sox brought the tying run to the plate. Chapman gets a strikeout to end the ball game. You feel good about it. You don't feel good leaving Chicago dropping 2 out of 3. But again, your ace. Remember, Crochet took the mound in Baltimore for his second start of the season and tossed 8 scoreless to end what at the time was a 4-game losing streak. He took the mound Sunday with the Red Sox, his new team, needing a win to avoid being embarrassed in Chicago. It's tough to leave this series, and I said it on Saturday. In a month and 2 months, you're still going to have a sour taste in your mouth, but you're also going to remember that Crochet was terrific, and he helped avoid the series sweep. Picks up the win, his second. 11 strikeouts, the 1 walk, and just the 1 hit allowed. But if Whitlock had given up that lead in the 8th inning, I wasn't only going to lay the blame in the lap of Garrett Whitlock, I was going to lay the blame in the hands, in the laps, on the shoulders of the offense as well, the starting 9 and the Alex Cora lineup, which he had a change in today. Thank you. I want to see Willie Abreu in the cleanup spot, not just for Sunday's finale. I want to see it for a handful of games, maybe even over the next week or two. Drop Tristan Casas down. If he's got any issue with it, tough luck. Tristan likes to irk people. Well, if you're irked, guess what? Don't care. Move down to the lineup, and he grounded into a double play in his first at bat. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And I'm not saying that he's going to feel that way and feel disrespected from moving from the number 4 spot to the number 5 spot. Could you put Bregman and Story together? I would think you can. You don't not necessarily want to back up too many lefties. You've got Duran and Devers at the top of the lineup, but could you put Bregman 3rd and Story 4th and then that lefty batter? You don't want to bunch up Casas and Abreu, Casas and Abreu, but I think you could go 4-5 or 3-4 with Bregman and Story. See if that ever happens. But Devers 0 for 4 and Story, Trevor Story, big part of the story and really the entire offense. But it would have been shame on the offense if the White Sox had tied it up against Crochet and Whitlock in that 8th inning and even had taken the lead. When you've got your ace on the mound, there are a lot of aces around baseball present day and in the past who have gotten great run support. And you know the ace shouldn't really need a whole heck of a lot of run support. And Crochet got 3 runs. He made him stand up. Story, 2-out, 2-run double in the 6th inning. I like his at-bats. Steals bases, gets on base. And then in the 9th inning, our at-bat of the game, our turning point in the game, bottom of the 8th inning, our at-bat of the game, the Story home run in the 9th. That gives you a little breathing room. And Chapman did allow a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate, but locks it down, works a scoreless 9th inning, picks up the save, and his 3rd on the season. Nice to see Chapman be able to come back-to-back days because Saturday didn't get the job done in that bottom half of the 9th inning. Leadoff walk came back to doom him and the Red Sox. To your comments we go. G's World. Starting us off in the leadoff spot. What an outing from our War Pig. Just 5 outs away. So glad we locked him up for a while. And Cora, as I mentioned, out of that dugout immediately after he gave up the hit with 1 out in the 8th inning, the only hit he allowed. And that was it. Would have been very interesting to see if he had gotten the 9th inning. And Lou Merlone was ecstatic in the Nesson booth when Crochet got the first batter on 1 pitch to start off the home 8th inning. Then Meidroth ended it. So working at one point on the floor and doing voiceover work for MLB Advanced Media, we would do voiceovers, 1-2-minute voiceovers for every game at Chelsea Pier on the west side of New York City way back in the day. We would actually cheer on the floor when the final game that started or was still in play and there was no longer a no-hitter intact. When somebody finally got a base hit for each side in that final game that we were going to do a VO for and put a package together for, we cheered. Because a no-hit bid and a no-hitter makes it that much more work. And I'm not talking about an extra 15, 20 minutes. I'm talking about history and an extra couple of hours. Now, as an hourly worker at that time, sure, sign us up. But when it gets to be 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, you cheer in the middle of July when there's no longer a no-hit bid intact. Did the same thing at ESPN radio over the years as well. I wasn't happy that Crochet lost his no-hit bid, but I don't think he was going to take the mound in the ninth inning. I don't know if Alex Cora will be asked that question, and he may say, you know what, I'm not going to tell you one way or another. And Dave O'Brien, if you want to get on Dave O'Brien, you can't, because Dave may have alluded to it, but never said there was a no-hit bid intact. I have no problem with any announcer telling you what's going on in the field. That's part of the job. I've done Dave's job on the minor league level, one game in the majors, ESPN radio, a couple of games, in the booth with the Kansas City Royals back in the day. I'm not trying to give my resume here, but it's the most ridiculous argument, right up there with his Die Hard, a Christmas movie. Announcer shouldn't. There's an announcer jinx. No, there's not. No, there's not. All right, I'm off my pedestal. Thank you, G's World. Smoke Dog 1982. Really needed that one. Jesse Rogers from ESPN jinxed the no-no. Smoke Dog 1982. I think we got a good enough relationship. I just read that. No, he didn't. Who was it? I think it was Lindsey Nelson who said, you know what? Anything I say in the booth, anything that's said in the social media world about a potential no-hitter, but Lindsey Nelson said, anything that I say in the broadcast booth that has a direct result or a direct effect on a game that's going on that I'm broadcasting, I need to be paid more money. I love that quote. Thank you, Smoke Dog 1982. You made me smile. Arthur, go Sox. G's World, Cora just said he would have given him a shot in the ninth inning. Thank you, G's World. Appreciate that. I didn't have it on nesting in the background. I turned it off. All right, there we go. Joe Mazzulla probably would have said, I know what I would have done, but I'm not going to share you, the Celtics head coach. But Alex Cora gives it to you. All right. We'll take that. Smoke Dog 1982 letting us know he's not superstitious. We'll believe you. Numbers of the day, look ahead. Story comes through. Crochet comes through in a big way. The Red Sox need to go on a run, and it needs to start Sunday. Maybe it did, and it certainly needs to continue with this road trip in Tampa, Florida against the Rays starting on Monday. Glad to have you on board. Our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast. Red Sox pick up the victory. I'm happy about it. Update on Richard Fitts coming up as well. Locked On Red Sox postcast. Locked On Red Sox, part of the Locked On Sports Network, your team every day, presented by Wonderful Pistachios. Love them. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber, better for you unsaturated fats to keep you feeling fuller longer. That's a goal. You're going to love the no-shell variety. Perfect grab-and-go snack for busy days, whether you're snacking at your desk on a road trip or just need a quick protein boost. They are going to become your go-to. And if you love cracking open every shell for that satisfying crunch, the in-shell options, certainly a classic favorite. The fact that Wonderful Pistachios is a complete protein providing all 9 essential amino acids. These little green wonders pack a protein punch. No shells, Wonderful Pistachios for that grab-and-go ease. Whether you're running between meetings or dropping off the kids, Wonderful Pistachios, the snack that works as hard as you do. Get snacking, get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit WonderfulPistachios.com to learn more. Locked On Red Sox postcast talking about a 3-1 victory for the Red Sox over the White Sox Sunday afternoon, also presented by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Well, between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track That's me. That's my family. That's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is not just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. When you start using Monarch, you may soon realize just how much you are spending on food delivery. Now you budget smarter and save more. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan your long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Again, that is monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off on your first year. Back to the comments we go. Who we got? Smoke Dog 1982. How much do you think the wind has been a factor the last couple of days? Yeah, maybe not as much as we anticipated. It was windy in it's windy in Chicago. Go say. There weren't a lot of misadventures on fly balls. There weren't a lot of balls. I mean, hey, number of the day, Trevor Story home run. Red Sox were 1 inning away from a 7th straight game without hitting a home run, 6 straight without a home run. So blowing in, blowing across, I think it was blowing left to right on several occasions. That might have been the most consistent. But overall, even Casas on that pop-up in the 8th inning got over there no problem and took care of it. So as they give sort of the weather, the temperature, blue skies, cloudy skies, overcast skies early on in a broadcast, the wind, issue, especially, at night, just different because the wind at night, we know what it's like, Midwest, Northeast, New England, you get a wind this time of year, you get a wind starting, late in October, November. They can be brutal. They can just eat right through you. You can just have that in your bones. Now they go to Tampa, where it's going to be warmer, right? You're not going to have to deal with the elements. And we're getting enough into April. Tax Day Tuesday, by the way. We're going to be in mid-April this upcoming week. Yes, you're going to still have some miserable days. I mean, people, the Portland Sea Dogs, other minor league affiliates up in New England, up in the Northeast, they're not getting rained out. They're getting snowed out. Snow. It's just been a crazy, crazy start to the baseball season with weather. But both sides play in it. I still got the wood stove going. We're almost in mid-April. I don't mind. I got some wood left over. G's World. Cora, I believe you're saying, he, meaning Cora, said it was obvious, would have depended on how 8 played out. But yeah, he was still under 100 pitches. And that's what Lou Merloni alluded to with Garrett Crochet. He was at 96 pitches when he was taken out. So if he was able to get the next 2 outs at 100 to 105, and there's a day off, and right now, the day off Thursday, a scheduled day off, Crochet would be scheduled to go next time out at home at Fenway against the White Sox. You can probably push him back somehow, some way. With that, want to go into Fitts for a moment. Man, I took that. I felt for Richard Fitts on Saturday. I actually, I was actually thinking about it and so happy to hear that it's a right sprained pectoral. So it's up here, and I'm showing it again because that's what I do. I'm crazy. Not, in the shoulder area on the right side, but maybe better than anticipated and feared right on Saturday. And Fitts did talk to the media on NESN and talk to the media, and they ran his comments in the interview on NESN after the game on Saturday, and he seemed to be in good spirits. Back in Boston. Maybe he stays in Boston. Maybe he joins the team in Tampa against the Rays for the upcoming series. But you've got 3 and then a day off. He could stay home, just rest, be home with the entire athletic training staff that they have in Boston, and also doctors and all that stuff. I'm sure he's going to work towards getting back as soon as possible. But I'm glad it's not truly something in that shoulder. Some guys are like, well, it wasn't the elbow. I saw that several times and heard it in the last 24 hours. I'm glad it's not the elbow. Well, we knew it wasn't the elbow. We knew it almost immediately, but you really didn't want to speculate. And Lou Merloni had it on Nesson on Saturday. And then after the game, he was in good spirits. And then Sunday you find out. Right strain pectoral, or right pectoral strain is how they word it. So hopefully it's only a couple of weeks. Come back. That's an injury you want no issue in there whatsoever. You don't want anything in there. Michael Fulmer added to the 40-man. Looking forward to seeing how he does. Then again, relievers, those guys have a tough world. Guys like Fuller, Robert Stock, different guys. Nice to see Cam Boozer pitch, by the way, for the White Sox. But, those guys, if they're not coming up and getting results, they're out of the 40-man. You could see it where, they're off the 40-man the very next day or within a couple of days. And that's tough on a family. Stock's already had that. Had his wife, had his young child with him. I believe it was a girl, and gone. And I think back to AAA Worcester if I saw that. But now Fulmer gets an opportunity. Coming off Tommy John surgery. At one point, a huge prospect. And pitching with the Detroit Tigers in recent years, and you see what you can get out of him. But, I mean, Whitlock pitching on Sunday. Guy coming back from injuries over the years. Fulmer, go out there, pedal to the metal, and see how you do. 14 strikeouts for Red Sox pitching. 2 in the ninth from Chapman, 11 for Garrett Crochet as he picks up his second win on the season. Now Tanner Houck, go out and do exactly what you did in your last outing. Houck, Buehler, the first 2 games of the series against the Rays, Monday and Tuesday. We're going to be on within minutes. By the way, Christian Campbell reaching. Again, he's reached base safely, and 16 straight games passes Ted Williams. Ted Williams opened up his Red Sox career by reaching safely in his first 15 games with a hit or a walk, and Campbell a base hit on Sunday. He's now reached safely in 16 in a row. Red Sox pick up the victory. A much-needed victory for the Red Sox. And now off to Tampa, where the weather is going to be better. Take it. Run with it. Man, the Red Sox had dropped 6 of 8 on the road prior to Sunday's victory. You're 3-1, and your aces starts. Improved to 3-1, and Houck starts on the season as he'll go in the opener against the Rays on Monday night. As always, we want to thank our sponsors, Wonderful Pistachios and Monarch Money, and we tip our cap to you as well on this Sunday as the Red Sox pick up the 3-1 victory. As always, we like to remind you, we are on within minutes of the final out of each Red Sox game throughout the course of the regular season. We do that, and hopefully we'll be doing it in October for playoff baseball. Locked On Red Sox, number one place to hang out immediately after every game. Locked On Sports, your team, your Sox, every day.